Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about people's lifestyles, where they live, what kind of things they have in their houses, and what they do.
I live in a flat in the centre of town. It's a modern flat and all my furniture is modern. I go out a lot and I drive an old car. Right, tell us something about your lifestyle, Kevin.
Well, I don't have a car, and I don't live in an apartment. I used to live in an apartment when I lived in California, but now I live on a boat, a houseboat, on the river. I don't own the boat. I rent it from a friend. I also go out a lot, and I have a motorbike. What about you, David?
Well, I don't live on a boat, and I don't live in a flat. I don't pay rent, and I don't have a motorbike. I have a house, a modern house, but full of antique furniture, and I drive a sports car. When I was younger, I used to live in a flat, and I used to have a motorbike. Now I have a sports car, but I used to have a motorbike. Used to. I had a motorbike, but not now. Now I live in a house, but I used to live in a flat. Used to. I lived in a flat, but not now.
Kevin lives on a boat, but he used to live in a flat. Where do you live? And where did you used to live?
I live in a small flat in central London near my work, and at weekends I go to the country. I used to live in a 4-bedroom family house in the suburbs.
I live in a 2-bedroom semi-detached house, and I used to live in a large house which I shared with a few other people.
Now I live in a ground floor flat which I'm buying. I used to live in a council flat that I rented.
I live in a condominium now. I used to live in an apartment.
I live in a 2-story adobe house on the south side of Santa Fe. I used to live in a wooden farmhouse in Ohio when I was a child.
Oh, hello. Come in. Hi. Nice cave you have here.
Thank you.
Is it yours?
No, we rent it.
We used to live in a cave.
Really?
Yes, but we don't live in a cave anymore. We live in a tower.
It's very nice.
We used to live in a tower, but we moved.
Why?
It was cold.
And it was noisy.
So we came to this cave. It's warm.
And it's quiet.
But it's dark.
And it's wet.
You're right, but we like it, don't we, dear?
Yes, we do.
Julia Marsh has a flat in London. She has left MAP advertising and she wants to move to Germany. She's getting ready to go, but she doesn't know what to do with all the furniture in her flat.
When are you leaving?
Pardon?
When are you leaving for Germany?
I don't know.
Oh, James. This is really difficult. I don't know what to do about this flat.
Is it yours? Do you own it?
No, I rent it. But all the furniture's mine.
This typewriter,
What about it?
is it yours?
Yes.
It's wonderful. You don't often see typewriters like that.
I hardly ever use it. But I don't want to sell it. Do you want it?
I'd love it. How much do you want for it?
Oh, don't worry. You can have it.
Thank you.
Hello? Speaking. Mike, hello. I'm fine, thank you. No, I'm not working for MAP anymore. I'm going to Germany, I think. Why? Really? Let me think about it. Bye. Well, well, well.
Julia has an old typewriter. This is what they said about it.
It's wonderful. You don't often see typewriters like that.
I hardly ever use it.
Always. Often. Hardly ever. Never.
Julia talked to someone on the telephone. Who was it?
That was Mike Roberts of International Promotions.
International Promotions?
Yes, I used to work for them before I moved to MAP.
Oh, yes. What did he want?
He offered me some freelance work. He thinks I ought to start my own advertising agency.
Why?
He says there's a lot of work for small independent companies that are...
Cheap?
Good value. I don't know.
What about Germany?
Well, I really want to work abroad. But I'd like to be independent. To be my own boss in my own office?
You don't have an office.
Yes, I do. A desk, a telephone, a typewriter.
Wait a minute, that's my typewriter.
No, it isn't. It's mine. I need it. If you want to use it, you'll have to work for me.
Me work for you?
Will Julia stay in London?
Will James work with her?
We'll have to wait and see.
We're now going to Docklands. That's an area in the east of London along the River Thames, where boats used to come in and dock. In the last century and the first half of this century, the area was very busy. There were lots of ships coming in and lots of work for the people who lived there. But things changed in the 1950s and 60s. The docks closed and industries moved out. Then, in the 1980s, there was another great change. New buildings went up in Docklands and new companies moved in. A man who has seen many of these changes is Terry Ward, who works as a postman in Docklands. Let's hear what Terry thinks of the changes to the area.
The kinds of people and the jobs that they used to do in the last century in the docks were all relevant to Docklands itself and the industries which were joined to it. Today, of course, the people are completely different. And there are a lot of professional people now. Skilled accountants, doctors, lawyers. All of these people don't really fit into the mood of the docks or the tone of the docks. They're the kind of people who would have a townhouse and then would want to get away to the country, somewhere for the countryside. A lot of the flats and houses that have been purchased in the docks, well, at the weekends, they're empty. You don't see them. They're only used during the week when the people are working. Therefore, they don't really constitute a community, because at the weekend, when the social life used to be at its most active, now it tends to sink and go quiet. And an awful lot of the new docks estates and areas are deserted at weekends. and you've got nothing anymore. In fact, it's like a ghost town. Well, what we're looking at now is a section of Millwall Dock, which used to be one of the busiest docks in the world. Here, for instance, in the wasteland before us, there used to be the MacDougall's flour mill, which was world famous. And to keep that supplied, loads of clippers used to come in to where Clippers Quay is now, and they used to maneuver themselves around and go along to the granaries, where they used to unload all their cargoes of grain. That, in turn, was put into storage, and MacDougall used to call upon it when they needed it. Also, further along here was where the timber ships used to come. That is why where we are standing now is called Timber Wharf. Well, now we have a whole new estate, which is partly privately owned and partly council estate, which is called Timber Wharves. This has only been in existence 5 years at the most. It's only now beginning to fill up completely with people and families. When Docklands was really thriving many years ago, and they used to have whole estates and rows and streets of houses which are all dockers or related industries. All the people lived there. They had a very close-knit community spirit, and they certainly used to make all their own entertainment, an awful lot of it. And they used to organise trips, you know, days down to the seaside and things like that. And it would all be done, and there used to be social clubs, which certain docks used to have their own social club, for instance, where they'd have dances on Saturday nights and things, and various parties for the children, special treats and things. You'll still find in some of the old streets where the dockers used to live many years ago, in those old cottages, you find a better spirit of community than you do in modern flats. It doesn't seem to have a soul anymore, just straight brick and mortar, and that's it. It's lost its spirit.
Docklands looks like an interesting place. I think I'll go there on Saturday.
Good idea. Well, that's all for now, so...
David,
Yes?
we never say goodbye first.
Really?
Well, hardly ever.
Okay. You can say goodbye first.
Thank you. After you, Kevin.
No, after you.
No, after you.
No, you go ahead, please.
Goodbye.
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 Look Ahead helps prepare you for Cambridge Level 1, Key English Test, KET. Cambridge Level 2, Preliminary English Test, PET. Contact the British Council or Cambridge Examinations.